Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Stuart Milk.
Andrew's talk kind of made my prepared remarks irrelevant because he reminded me of what it was like to grow up in Long Island in the 70s as a gay young man who lived in an environment that was extremely hostile to that. The last time that Harvey was on Long Island, he had a conversation with his 14-year-old nephew at the funeral of my grandfather, of his father, where we talked through into the night about being different and about what that means to the world. And so Harvey went back to San Francisco and told his friends there that he had a gay nephew, but he never brought that up to me. He started me on the path of self-acceptance by talking about how being different brings greater gifts to the world, and how my being different was important for the world to embrace and celebrate. We had a conversation about diversity, and so Harvey set in motion really the survival of his nephew. There was a young man who had committed suicide recently, who was bullied in high school. There was a young man 2 years ago who committed suicide, who was bullied in high school, and his father was quoted in the newspaper. I'm just a little bit off key on what I was going to say. But his father said, when you lose a child like this, it destroys you in ways you cannot even describe. The message that Harvey gave me was that the loss of those individuals and the loss of their authenticity and the putting on of their masks destroys the community, not just that individual. The community is less. It is, and so the importance of the work of this organization and this network here in my home where I grew up and where I actually had a touchstone named Harvey Milk, who I can communicate with from the age of 14 till I was 17 about this particular issue. But it is so inspiring to see the leadership, Congressman Israel's tremendous leadership in the nation on these issues. But the work that David and the organization is doing here is just tremendously inspiring. So Harvey would be so honored, not necessarily for the award, but because you all are standing on his shoulders and you're creating shoulders of future generations to stand on. And it's vital. One of Harvey's last gifts to me was a quote that I use here, where the continuation of the conversation of authenticity. And it was a Native American book that he sent me called 7 Arrows, and he wrote it, and he gave me a quote from that he highlighted, which is that you are the medicine that the world needs, even when the world doesn't recognize that. And that's the fight that we're in. It's so inspiring, again, that we have here on Long Island an organization that is taking those that are starting out in life through your youth program, those like myself in the middle of our life, like the community center, and those who've come before us, who are the elders of our community in your seniors program. It is so inspiring because we do not have those type of connections across the country, but this can be certainly a role model for suburban communities across the nation. And the reason that that's so important is that there's going to, Harvey had a message when he would do speeches about youth saying, my election gave people a new choice. They can come to San Francisco or they could stay home and fight. It's vitally important that we have people that can stay home and fight because there's going to be future generations coming at home. You can't all gravitate to San Francisco or New York City. So he would be so thrilled to be here. He would be so honored to be in the presence of all of you because, again, you are creating shoulders. Your shoulders are so strong. Your shoulders are so broad. And I'm just so honored to be here amongst you and thrilled on behalf of the family, Harvey's immediate family, and on behalf of the LGBTQ family, which I am a member of. Thank you very much.